In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to vertically align content in a div. This is something I got hung up on quite a bit when I first started in web development, and even later on I got hung up on it. I'm trying to figure out the best way how to do this. And I'm going to do two methods. I'm going to show you how to do it to support older browsers such as IE9, and I'm going to show you how to do it the modern way using Flexbox. So I have my base document here. I'm using Modernizer to detect if my browser or the user's browser supports Flexbox or not. And I have my elements right here. I have a div with a class of container, two children divs, and each one also contains a span tag inside of it with the word test. You can put whatever you want in there. So first thing I want to do is, so we can see what's going on, let's apply an outline. Alright, and in the container, we'll give it a height of 300 pixels. And the children will give a height of 100% and a width of 300 pixels and display inline block to align them side by side. I give it a height of 100% because it gets its height from the parent, which is 300 pixels. Alright. So next thing we want to do here is we're going to use a pseudo element, and in this case the before, and we're not going to give it any content. We're going to spit inline block like it's parent, vertical line middle. Oh, I do want to align my text in the center right here. And height 100%. Alright, so this is the first way how to do it. So basically I styled the container, gave it a height of 300 pixels, gave its immediate children a height of 100% or 300 pixels with a 300 pixels, and then I displayed the inline block to align them next to each other and align the text in the center. Then I use a pseudo element to actually position my text. So I displayed an inline block and a vertical align middle and text align center. So that would be how you would do it IE9 and above before it supports Flexbox. So now this is going to only be for the browsers that don't support it. So we're going to add a class of No Flexbox. And when we actually load up our web page in the browsers, this Node.js gets replaced with our classes that we can use. So if the user does not support Flexbox, it replaces, well, first of all, it replaces if the user has JavaScript enabled, it says JS instead of Node.js, and then it says Flexbox if they support, or no Flexbox if they don't. So I can use those specific classes. Alright, so we'll go ahead and style with the No Flexbox. Alright, next is the Flexbox. And I really do like the Flexbox a lot better because you don't necessarily need to know heights of things and stuff like that, like you do with the previous example for older browsers. And one thing that I learned as a developer, you don't have to make things look the same on every browser. I mean, as long as it looks okay, it doesn't need to be exactly the same on every browser. Alright, so Flexbox. Alright. Now, instead of displaying inline block, in the container, we're going to say display flex, which will automatically make elements align to the left. And when you display a flex on a parent container, it applies to its children, immediate children. So when you display flex, then you can say align items stretch, and by default that's what it goes to, but you can actually say flex start and it will align your elements to the top. Flex end aligns them to the end. Let's take off the height of these children so we can see what I'm talking about. Alright, so we'll have flex start aligns them to the top. Flex end puts them on the bottom, and center puts them in the middle, and stretch makes them a height of 100%. So you don't actually need the height in the children. Alright, so now that we have that, we're going to apply the Flexbox to the immediate children to make this span tag go where we want it to go. So we're going to display flex, and align items will be center since we want to vertically center it. Now we're in the left side right here. We can't use text align center because the element in there is no longer block, and span isn't block anyway, but it won't be block anymore, so text align center won't work. We could put width of 100% on that element, and that would work, but we'll be using Flexbox to do that. So there's another thing in CSS called justify content, and much like align items, it has a flex start, which aligns it to the left, flex end aligns it to the right, and center aligns it in the center. There is no stretch for justify content. So if you do want it to go 100%, you will have to use with 100%. And then you could either apply a Flexbox to the span or just do a text align center. Alright, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to comment below, or if you have any other tips you would like me to go over, feel free to leave it in the comments. Thanks.